Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. I'm making a dream class video. I've held off on this video for a while, just to get more offers out there. And on the defensive side of the ball, some more recent offers will most likely be in the dream class, but on the offensive side of the ball, not so much. Most of these guys I've shown in previous videos, and you will most likely know them if you're a dedicated Notre Dame recruiting guru or fan. And yes, Steve Angeli is on this. I could put Gavin Wimsatt. I could put MJ Morris. I could put Ty Simpson, but I'm not. I'm going to put a realistic dream prediction at every position. And today's video is just going to be strictly offense. Steve Angeli, he's a pro-style quarterback from Bergen Catholic High School in New Jersey. Pretty much everyone knows he's going to end up at Notre Dame, and there's not much to it. I think he's definitely better than a 5'8", but I wouldn't call him a 5-star, and I wouldn't call him a top 100 player. That's my honest take on it. But realistically, I think he's going to end up in this class, and it's realistic. I'm sorry. It's not just shooting for the stars. Okay. At the running back position, Dallin Hayden and Nicholas Singleton are the two guys I have tabbed as the realistic dream players. I actually do think both of these guys will end up at Notre Dame. I think Ohio State's going to be the hardest competitor in both of their recruitments, as Dallin Hayden is not really set on playing for his father's alma mater in Knoxville, and Nicholas Singleton, I feel like, has distanced himself from Penn State in a way. I think Penn State will still be in that recruitment, but I don't think Dallin Hayden will look at Tennessee the same. With Jeremy Pruitt no longer employed there. I mean, hey, Hayden is pretty much Notre Dame, Ohio State. He's the top four of Oregon, Tennessee, Ohio State, and Notre Dame. I think he's going to end up at either Ohio State or Notre Dame. It depends if spots fill up at Ohio State before they fill up at Notre Dame, because both of these guys, I think, are going to take their sweet time and will not commit until probably the fall, late summer, or winter. Singleton, he lives in the state of Pennsylvania, so it's hard to say he will not end up at Penn State, because many of those kids do. But he really has a value of academics, and he understands the degree and the pedigree of a Notre Dame degree. So I think that's going to end up catapulting Notre Dame to landing Nicholas Singleton. I think Ohio State will finish second, a close second. He's definitely a big-time ball player. Some people have him as a number 2, 3, 4, 5 back in this class. I think having him as the number 7 back is really fair. He loves Lance Taylor based on the Christian McCaffrey comparisons and the Christian McCaffrey dreams that Nicholas Singleton has. If anyone doesn't know, Lance Taylor, the current running backs coach in Notre Dame, is the former running backs coach at Stanford. He coached Bryce Love and he coached Christian McCaffrey. He's still very close with Christian McCaffrey. And that's something, and that almost landed Will Shipley in favor of Notre Dame. So something to look out for there. Will Lance Taylor be the running backs coach past this year? I don't know. That's a topic for speculation, but we can't look into the future. We got to stay in the present. All right. Moving on to the wide receivers, we got the Chicago duo. I feel like these guys are mixed together every single time you talk Ohio State, Michigan, or Notre Dame recruiting, as pretty much their unofficial top threes are Ohio State, Michigan, and Notre Dame. Tommy Rees, Dell Alexander have both been very involved in both of these recruitments. Tommy Rees, of course, recruits Chicago for the Irish, as he once grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, and has pretty much lived in the Chicago area and South Bend, Indiana his whole life. So Caleb Brown, I think, is probably leading Ohio State right now. I'd put Notre Dame second, Michigan third. E.J. Holland had Michigan at third, I believe. Don't quote me on that. And I saw somewhere else, might have been Tom Loy or Sinclair, one of the 247 writers had Michigan running third as well, with Ohio State in the lead and Michigan and Notre Dame at second. So that is not a crazy conclusion, guys. It's not just Michigan slander on my part. That is that is agreed upon with the analysts and publishers. Tyler Morris, I think Michigan holds a slight lead right now. I think Ohio State's probably running third. Not sure if he wants to go all the way out there. And I don't know how much he really values what Ohio State brings to the table, but I do think he values a really good education. Michigan and Notre Dame can give that to you. I do think he's going to end up in this Notre Dame class, which is a huge reach, some would say. I don't think it is a reach. I really think he's a Notre Dame wide receiver, Notre Dame slot receiver in specific. And yeah, I love his game. I love Caleb Brown's game too. I probably like Caleb Brown's just a little bit more, but they're both very good players, very talented players, and we'll see where their recruitments take them. Second to last slide, I have a wide receiver and an offensive lineman. I'll start with the wide receiver, Teteroa McMillan from Anaheim, California. Very high 4-star, 5-star on 247. Does he deserve that? I don't know, but he's 6'3". Has probably got up to 6'4", 6'3.5". I believe those measurements were done pre-COVID. It's pretty much all the accolades, Polynesian Bowl commit. Do I think Notre Dame's leading this recruitment right now? No. I think probably USC is. Bama's up there. Oregon, Washington, UCLA are all in the mix here. I think he'll end up at USC when pen comes to paper, but this recruitment's a far ways away. And Brian Polian recruits Polynesian and West Coast players fabulously. I can't say enough about the job he does recruiting those West Coast kids. So that's definitely something to monitor. Carson Hinsman, offensive guard from Hammond, Wisconsin. So it's up to him and Blake Fisher's Instagram Live a few days ago. This is a talented guy. I really like his game. He definitely compares to an NFL offensive lineman in high school. Needs to put on a little bit more weight. He's only 6'4", which is a little bit small for an offensive guard. Offensive tackles are usually 6'6", 6'7", 6'5". Guards usually 6'5", 6'6", maybe 6'4", but he definitely needs to put on some more weight. But for a 280-pound offensive lineman, that's pretty impressive to be a 5'9" on Rivals, 77th nationally. That's big time. Recruiting-wise, Notre Dame's probably second here. I think he'll end up at Wisconsin. I think Notre Dame will end up in second. And yeah, he took, I believe, 2 visits to Notre Dame last year. I believe he's taken 2 or 3 visits to Wisconsin. I may be completely off on that. That's just an educated guess. And all the crystal balls and future casts are currently in for Wisconsin. And then last slide for the offensive dream class, Zach Rice and Joe Bruner. Bruner, I think will end up at Wisconsin. Rice, it's a crapshoot right now. Bruner, it's from Whitefish Bay, right near Madison, probably an hour drive. Guys, these are so hard. We're early in the process, and with the dead period, it's just so tricky to understand these guys. But I don't know. Bruner, if I had to make an educated guess, would end up at Wisconsin. Rice would end up at UNC. These are 2 guys that are pretty under the radar recruiting-wise. Zach Rice doesn't even pick up calls. He doesn't call coaches. He doesn't really text with them that much. He'll occasionally text with Jeff Quinn, the offensive line coach at Notre Dame, but he really likes to just do his own research. Does that benefit Notre Dame? I don't know, because I assume Mac Brown and the UNC staff is probably pushing harder than Notre Dame and Ohio State just because of the options and the more limited shots they have at these 5-star guys. But that's also a guess because people give Brian Kelly hate, but Brian Kelly could be doing a lot of work behind the scenes. We really don't know. But if I had to make a guess on both of these guys, Bruner, Wisconsin, Zach Rice, UNC, Notre Dame running second or third in both these recruitments. Michigan's making an effort to land Joe Bruner. Are they putting in more work to Notre Dame? No, because I think Notre Dame's second right now. Bruner has been in Notre Dame once, I believe, maybe twice. Zach Rice has never stepped foot in South Bend. Zach Rice has been to UNC, I believe, 2 or 3 times. Ohio State, 0. So that does give the Irish fans some hope. If I just completely slandered the chances at either of these guys. It's early in the process. It's January when I'm recording this. And the dead period is still currently extended to April 15th. Now, I'm going to speak on that really quickly. Reportedly, in about 2 or 3 weeks, the NCAA is going to have another sit-down meeting, and they might start allowing in-person visits that the school can run and the school can pay for and stuff like that, starting April 16th, so the day right after it ends. And you'll see a wave of visits. I bet both these guys will go. All 2022 guys that are uncommitted will pretty much be going that first or second weekend in April. April will be a crazy college football recruiting month. So yeah, definitely be on the lookout for that. That's the video, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, be sure to like and subscribe. Peace.